welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I am your host tonight, Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy, and I am joined, as always, by Anthony Amato, who we like to call Shamato. That's right, there is no T-roll.
As always.
As always. This dude, is he on the podcast? I don't know.
I don't know. He might be getting his pink slip soon.
I mean, he's about to turn into special guest T-roll.
Yeah.
But anyway, he is busy, living his life, not prioritizing the podcast or us, which is, that's fine. That just means that our listeners are in for a treat, another Shamato and Sandy Unchained. We are here to do some crazy TV stuff and movie world. Like that's our thing. TVs and movies are our thing, and we're going to focus on TV today. But before we get into all that, let's go ahead and get some business out of the way. Thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We really do appreciate you guys. So if you wouldn't mind, just like, follow, subscribe wherever you're listening to this, and go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If you feel inclined, go for it. I support it. So, we appreciate you guys. Follow us on our socials at Royal Geek Pod, and we are going to have some good time here in the next couple minutes when we start our IMDb top 16 TV show bracket. So, in case you didn't catch it from the title of the episode, we took the top 16 TV shows on IMDb of all time, and we are going to break it down in a bracket. So buckle up. Here we go. There's no spoilers unless you haven't seen the shows, I guess. So actually, you know what? I take that back.
Yeah.
We're going to do spoiler warning. If you hear a show that you have not seen before, go ahead and fast forward 5 minutes. You'll be all right. All right, Shamato. Are you ready to talk about top 16 TV shows of all time?
Let's do it.
We've done this in movie form before. We did top grossing movies without T-roll before. What are your thoughts about the TV realm, real quick?
I think the TV realm's a little harder because, you're dealing with, I feel like most of the top 16 movies, you can almost kind of they're almost, they're pretty easy to match up. Whereas TV shows are so they're so much more, pinpoint, it seems, with their characterizations and their plots and what they fall into. I think they're more likely to fall into specifically a realm like a sitcom or a drama or, an anime or something like that, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So it can be harder because it can be very much it gets really down to someone's preference.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of preference, we kind of, we're taking the top 16 from IMDb, but we want to kind of have a little bit of control over it.
Yes.
And so we're going to do a little different format. We're going to do a bracket, but we're only going to do a bracket of the top 8, but we're going to go ahead and eliminate 8 off the bat. We're going to take turns. I'm going to eliminate one from the list, and Shamato's going to eliminate one, and we're going to go back and forth until we have a top 8. And if I wanted to, I could eliminate the number 1 overall show.
Yeah,
if I wanted to.
You could say I hate TV right off the bat.
Exactly, right off the bat, and I can eliminate it. So that's kind of how it's going to work. Shamato and I are going to spend some time eliminating and talking about some shows until we get to a top 8.
Yeah.
And when we get to the top 8, they'll be seeded, and we're going to break them down and have them compete against each other.
Yep.
And you're thinking to yourself right now, wait a minute. If you're having a bracket and each person gets a vote, if they tie, how are we gonna solve that? Well, we're actually gonna go ahead and give the tiebreaker to the top seed. That's what we're gonna do.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. It's a top seed for a reason. It's a higher ranked show for a reason. The majority likes it. So I'm kind of excited, Shamato. This is different. This is new.
Yeah.
This may work. This may be entertaining. This may flop. This may fail miserably. Kind of like this podcast.
Yeah, maybe it'll feel so bad that we'll go viral.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. I doubt it. But yeah, okay, so first of all, I'm going to go ahead and give you the top 16 shows right off the bat.
All right.
This is according to IMDb, and I'll start with 16. 16 is a more recent show. It is The Last of Us.
All right.
That is number 16. Number 15 on the top 16 on IMDb is The Office, U.S. version, obviously. Number 14 is Arcane from Netflix. Number 13 is Better Call Saul. Number 12 near and dear to my sweetheart is Batman the Animated Series. After that is number 11 is the original, The Twilight Zone.
Yep.
So we got flashbacks to black and white here. This is how crazy we're getting right now.
Maybe the most influential show on here, honestly.
Yeah, actually, that's very accurate, and we'll see if we continue to talk about that longer. Number 10, we're dipping our toe, baby. Let's go. We got Attack on Titan. We're bringing anime to the actual pod instead of the side pod. All right. Number 9, another beloved favorite on here is Sherlock. Number 8, another animation is Rick and Morty. Number 7, bringing it back to the anime world with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Number 6, I can't believe I'm going to say this on a podcast with Shamato, Bluey, baby.
Dude.
Bluey.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Will it be eliminated early? We'll find out. Number 5, Game of Thrones.
All right.
Number 4, The Sopranos. Number 3, animation / anime? Question
There's
mark?
always that question
This
with
is
that
a debate.
one.
This
Yeah.
one's a big, massive debate. I know where I stand on this one. Avatar, The Last Airbender. Number 2, The Wire. I know T-Roll wishes he was here to talk about The Wire. I know that. Number 1, and this one, I don't know. We'll see how this one falls, but Breaking Bad.
All right.
So those are your top 16 that we're going to talk about, and we are going to eliminate 8 right off the jump,
Yep.
and we're going to take turns doing so. So essentially, I get 4 eliminations, and Shamato gets 4 eliminations until we get to our top 8. So Shamato,
Let's do it.
lead the way here, and you eliminate the first show.
All right. So, the first one I'm going to eliminate is more of like a statement of like I feel like there were better shows that did what it did better, and I think there were shows literally on its network running at the same time that did not get the love that it deserved.
I support your answer, by the way.
Yeah,
I support it.
So and this is honestly like this might be like one of those like they have no idea what they're doing click off moments because it has one of the most like it's one of the weirdest like deep fan bases. So without further ado, I'm gonna go with The Office US.
That is amazing because that would have been my first elimination too. Just to let you know.
Yeah,
And I don't hate that show. I actually
thoroughly
enjoy the
it.
show.
Yeah,
But I think you're right. It got so much love at a time period where there were shows that were better doing the same thing. Like it was
honestly,
crazy.
I think there were 4 shows that were all running at the same time at NBC: The Office, Parks and Rec, Community, and 30 Rock, and I think all 3 of the other ones were better than The Office.
Agreed.
Honestly.
Tenfold. And if you heard Shamato just say that right now and you have not seen any of those other shows, watch them.
Yeah.
I promise you, you'll think the same thing. It's hard.
Honestly, like if you listen to our podcast and have not watched Community, you're not paying attention.
Shame on you. Shame on you. All right. I am going to go now, and I am going to eliminate this one. This one's going to be, I don't know how you're going to feel about this with Shamato, but I'm going to go ahead and right off the jump, I'm going to eliminate Better Call Saul.
All right.
Reason being, it's a spinoff from Breaking Bad.
Yes.
And I kind of feel like we need to let the better one shine. And I feel like Better Call Saul is fantastic. It is a really good show, a top-tier spinoff, possibly one of the best spinoffs of all time.
Yeah.
But I really feel like Breaking Bad is obviously the better one. And so I don't want to have it compete against itself, that kind of thing. Same universe, same everything.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. I feel like they're kind of like it's one of those things where they're literally filling the same slot in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's sort of like to use a sports analogy, when there are 2 great players on one team, and they kind of cannibalize their MVP votes, you're kind of doing that kind of same thing here by, kind of pushing Better Call off to the side.
Exactly. And, trust me, Odenkirk does a phenomenal
he's great.
Phenomenal job. He, as Saul, the fact that he came on to Breaking Bad in his role as the attorney lawyer, right? And he did such an amazing job. They're like, we need more of him, and he's going to get his own show. Like, it is just absolutely insane, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, he wasn't even really supposed to be, that big of a character in Breaking Bad.
It was the reception, dude. It was the fans kind of sparked him along, and we got more of him. What it was like 3, 4 seasons or 5 seasons? Which one?
I think it was 5.
Yeah, I think it was 5 too. So,
Yeah.
so anyway, Better Call Saul. All right, Shimano, what's your next one?
All right. So, unfortunately, like the next couple that I'm gonna do or have in mind are just like low hanging fruits for me. Honestly, largely because I just haven't seen these shows. Like, honestly,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna.
Don't you hurt me now.
I very well might hurt you.
All right, go for it.
Like, I could very well hurt you. I'm gonna go with Arcane.
Okay, okay.
Like, I'm gonna cut that one out, and I'm just gonna be completely just like, you know, bearing my soul. I have not seen it,
So
and
therefore,
so I
get a
feel
break.
like in a way, it is saying something about it that it was not good enough for me to like be jammed hard enough in my face for me to be like, I need to watch this.
Yeah. For me, it's honestly the opposite. It was jammed in my face so much where I had to watch it,
Yeah.
and dude, it's solid. It's a solid show, but I do think I probably would have included it in the elimination
All right.
chamber with
Oh,
the 8 gone.
yes.
But no, I get it, man. Is it the animation that's doing it for you? That 3D sketch style animation,
Yeah. It
or
just I don't know. It just never really caught with me, and
okay?
it just was never really something that I was
Were
like.
you ever play League of Legends or?
League of Legends.
Yeah,
I think I tried to play it a little bit,
it's okay
but
because it's
yeah,
it's in that world. It's
yeah.
in that, but you should.
All right.
It's worth
Maybe
it.
I will then.
It is.
And maybe I'll hate myself for cutting it out of the top.
You might actually. You might. Okay. All right. I am going to move on and eliminate one of mine.
All
And
right.
this one's an animation show, and it's
Ooh.
actually going to be Rick and Morty.
Oh,
As
that is a controversial call right
it is a
there.
controversial call. The reason being, I love Rick and Morty. I really do. However, I do feel like the later seasons kind of took away some of that glam that
You're not wrong.
the first
Like
what, four
three,
four
3 or
seasons,
4, yeah.
because I was glued to my freaking TV screen with those first 4 seasons, man.
Yeah.
Like it was must watch TV. And then slowly but surely it started going downhill. It had that Doctor Who vibe with like mad scientist and like crazy like Inspector Gadget,
Yeah.
and it was just with Family Guy humor. Like it
Yeah.
was
It was so inspired,
Exactly.
honestly, with a lot of the stuff that it did.
and it
Um,
did payoffs really well. It like as us being huge community fans, it did
yeah.
like season run gags that were just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, just like crazy things that like yeah, like they literally some would show up like 2 seasons later, and you were like,
Yep.
even the stuff of like Birdman,
Dude,
like
Leonardo
or
on the
Bird
couch,
Person,
like
yeah,
up, 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 up. Like you're like, there it is. That's that thing. But I kind of have to eliminate here just because it didn't maintain the quality throughout the entirety of the run, and because I was so high on Rick and Morty,
yeah,
and then it just slowly
yeah.
fizzled out.
Honestly, like yeah, I have a lot of that same
Mhm.
feel to it. Yeah,
So
that it's just it's kind of lost its luster the last couple of seasons.
absolutely, I agree. So much so where the new season's either out now or coming out, and I don't even know because I haven't watched it yet. So, but anyway, Shamato, let's go on to your elimination.
All right, so let's see. I am going to eliminate. Like I said, this is probably the most influential show on here, but it is
Oh.
also. I feel like it was kind of at a time where the bar was a little lower, for what was considered like great TV at the time. It would be the Twilight Zone.
Ooh,
Um,
interesting. Okay.
So, like I said, I think I have a lot of respect for the Twilight Zone,
Mhm.
and I think it is legitimately maybe one of the most influential shows on here, especially probably up until about the year 2000 on here. Like, I think any show that was, before that was probably doesn't fall influentially that way, just because of like what it allowed people to like think about and like how many other things were based off of Twilight Zone things. Honestly, even to the point of like there were a bunch of like other movies or TV shows that started out as Twilight Zone scripts and then became something else.
Yeah.
But I just feel like although it was the original for a lot of things, I think it just kind of has it's still really good, but I just don't think it's up to the snuff of it faces the rigors of like modern TV standards.
Correct, yeah. And I think that's where T-Roll would agree with you because this is a black and white show and there's no chance ever that
He's
he'll
ever
ever
seen an
lay eyes
He's ever
on a
heard of
single
the
episode.
episode.
Exactly. When there are episodes that are iconic, like, I mean, in my mind, I can still see over and over again, there's something on the wing. Like William Shatner
Yeah.
delivering that line and just like it being incredible, absolutely incredible.
But the thing is, do you know that scene or do you know a parody of that scene better? Or do you really
No, I know that scene. I know
Yeah,
that scene. But yes, I've seen the parody as well. But the scene in itself
is very iconic.
is
I will
very,
agree with that, but I
very
feel like a
iconic.
lot of, and maybe it's kind of the fault of its own success in some ways, because I feel like a lot of it has been parodied to the point to where
True.
some of the parodies are more
taking
famous
over. Yeah.
than the original stuff.
Well, see, and also the thing with me, like with Twilight Zone, it was one of those shows where it was like, hey, my dad's watching this, and then he like wrote me into it, and then we're watching it together. So it was honestly like a bonding experience.
Yeah.
And I have so many fond memories of just watching it. And when they did the reboot with Jordan Peele, I mean, it had some quality storylines, and I was like, this could really take it to the next level, but it just didn't hit the same for me personally. But yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, I like that. I see.
Well,
that.
I think also with like a show like Black Mirror, kind of doing a similar setup.
Yeah.
And like other shows have done things similar, or tried to do things similar. Like once again, it was the original, and it had so much influence. But now other shows are kind of doing similar ideas.
Yes, I agree. All right, moving on. All right, my elimination now. I am going to eliminate a way more recent one, and this
All
one
right.
is The Last of Us.
All right.
All right, so Shamato, did you finish the new season of The Last of Us?
I have not.
Did you watch any of The Last of Us?
I watched the first season.
Okay, first season, but you never started season 2?
No.
So I won't talk about the main reasons why I don't like this. I played the video game. Phenomenal video game. Arguably maybe one of the best storyline video games of all time.
Yeah.
It may potentially be that 1-2. It's that good. There is an event that happens in the video game that is executed much better than the show executed. But the event that I'm talking about that happens in season 2 was still very impactful. So impactful that every episode after that, I just didn't feel the buzz anymore.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of out of it.
Yeah, I also feel like this is largely just coming from as a outside observer of season 2. I feel like a lot of people were just like dumping on season 2, and maybe
I did hear that too. Yeah,
like maybe it has to do that. Maybe because part of what you're referring to is just the fact that there may or may not have been a change of the lead character.
correct.
So
Correct.
so to the point to where like maybe some of it has to do with people who did not like that change, and them not adjusting well to it.
Yeah, and I feel like the dynamics and the chemistry and everything changed, and
Yeah.
the new lead didn't really have that
Wasn't able to
same.
fill like the shoes of the
Yeah,
lead.
correct. And
Because
well, when you pick one of the most influential actors of the last 10 years to be the lead of a season 1, and then only to remove them in season 2, it kind of like you're like whoa, you're taking away this dude, like
Yeah.
no,
yeah,
So-
and I mean it makes sense like for that fact, and just like
Mhm.
also you had somebody who had never really been the lead of anything before.
Correct.
So it's like
Correct. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to eliminate that one as well.
yeah, I mean honestly I'm all right with that. It was probably in my top 3 or 4 to eliminate
Yeah.
before my last pick. So I'm probably gonna break your heart on this one, just a little, maybe just a little bit.
Let's rip the bandit off.
I believe possibility is Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh my goodness, bro! You know not what you do.
Yeah, I'm 100% aware of that. Like
Oh
I'm a man shooting blindly into the dark.
yeah, and you
Like,
hit the
honestly.
wrong stray, dude. That's just okay. I mean, is this a haven't seen, therefore can't
Pretty much
judge?
haven't seen
Okay, but you're starting to dabble in this world.
a little bit.
You've attempted to dabble in this world,
Yes.
this is one that should be on your list. Yay or nay?
I mean, probably.
It should be on your if you're looking at the top 16 IMDb with all the docuseries removed, and you're seeing this as ranked number 7, does that not inspire you to watch?
I mean, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic show. It really is. And this is one of those shows. This anime is one of those shows that, growing up watching this, it kind of helped shape my view and the way I saw different aspects of humanity, because you kind of got to see. You got to see it all, man. You got to see the pure evil of evils and the redemption and joy, and it was just a ride, man. And it hits on all levels that a TV show should hit. As far as emotions, there's comedy, there's sadness, there's a drama that is for days, and there's some characters that are so iconic that it's hard to imagine a world without them in it. So, I understand it. I really do, but it hurts. It really does. All right. I have my last one, right?
Yep. Eliminate your last one.
Oof, dude, this is gonna be so freaking tough, man.
It is tough. Honestly, part of the reason why I did it as well is because the rest
there's
are
some good ones, man.
some bangers.
I want to do one, but I think I'm gonna hold off on it because I think it kind of deserves a fighting chance, and we'll get there. I'm going to eliminate a very high one,
All right.
an extremely high one,
How high?
one that is very, very high, and it's going to be the Avatar: The Last Airbender. I am eliminating this one.
My heart.
You may not have liked this one, but here's the reason. All right, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, as much as we all love Aang and the rest of the crew, I think that for me personally,
Yeah.
at the time I was watching a ton of really solid anime, and this is just Nickelodeon getting their anime version / cartoon out.
Yeah.
And I just found myself gravitating towards. I watched all of Last Airbender, but I found myself gravitating towards the other storylines of Full Metal Alchemist was on there at that time. There was Dragon Ball Z was on at the time. Like all these shows were on at the time, and I feel like they did it better. It's in the same vein of The Office that you're talking about. There is so many other shows doing the same exact thing. But don't get me wrong, the Zuko redemption arc may be one of the greatest redemption arcs in all of TV history.
Honestly, as well as the fact that Azula may legitimately be my favorite female villain of all time.
Ooh.
Pretty close. Honestly.
Okay.
And she's pretty high up there generally in villains for me.
Okay. That's fantastic, dude. Yeah. But I had to reach for the top, man. I had to grab something. And I had to eliminate. So I believe that's 8 eliminations.
That is 8 eliminations.
So we are now going to bracket style this and match them up, debate them, and see how far they go. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into our top 8 bracket. And some of these seedings here are absolutely insane, and I love it. So, we're going to start off with, you know what? I'm not going to start off with 1-8. I'm not doing that yet. Yeah, I'm going with the 4-5 matchup. And the 4-5 matchup is the 5 seed. I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud on this podcast. Is Bluey.
Yeah.
Bluey is the 5 seed, and it is going up against a juggernaut and maybe complete opposite genre. And
yeah,
it is Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones versus Bluey in 4 and 5.
It's a really
has there ever been any matchup in the history of podcasts / entertainment world where Bluey is going up against Game of Thrones?
I mean, I really don't know. That's a crazy. It really is a crazy matchup. When I did the seeding, I was like, these are some weird matchups that we have going on.
I can't believe it. So let's start off here, Shamato.
All right.
We both chose not to eliminate Bluey.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Bluey and his staying power. Let me go first here because my introduction to Bluey is my children.
Yeah.
My children love Bluey, and it is the definition of a show where the kids are watching and the parents are activity around the house, cleaning, taking care of whatever they need, and you find yourself sitting on the couch next to the kids watching TV because it is that good. That show is so
Yeah.
good where it'll pull you from doing what you're supposed to be doing to sit your butt down on the couch and watch it.
Yeah. I still remember the first episode of Bluey I watched. Like the first time I ever have it, I was so a little backstory. I used to be a parapro, and so we had somebody else in one of the other teachers was in our classroom, and at the moment we decided to put on something for the kids to watch. And she suggested Bluey, and I was like, Bluey, what is that? Like I was at that point in my life. As most adults say, there's the pre-Bluey phase and the post-Bluey phase. But anyway, so I remember just seeing it. I was like, "What? This show? It's phenomenal!" Like I was so blown away. And there's so many like great emotional moments, which is like a crazy thing to say about, especially because it's a super short kid show. It
Yeah.
doesn't,
Like max what, 15 minutes? Like
yeah, like when they're doing a double,
yeah,
it's 15 minutes.
Crazy.
So most of the episodes are like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of craziness with like the fact that it's able to pull at some of the emotional heartstrings without being super cheesy in a lot of ways. It's the best kind of cheese when it needs to be, and it generally avoids a lot of it. It doesn't treat your kids like they're stupid.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of shows at that age treat kids like they're a little dumb.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
whereas this one treats them like they at least have a mind of some sorts.
Right. Correct. And I mean, if you're talking emotional beat of like per episode or per season, let's do per
Yeah.
season. I think Bluey has more emotional moments slash sad, teary, happy, joy, crying than
Yeah.
any show on this list. To be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, like I mean, well, the episode is Sleepy Time. Is that what it is?
Ooh, gosh.
Like when you find out that she's being cuddled by her mom,
Mm-hmm.
like when you find out that Chili is cuddling Bingo, and you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
you're like that is
Yeah.
like that is
That's next level stuff here.
yeah, that is so like it really gets
But
to you.
we say that, and then Game of Thrones.
Yes,
It has some of the most jaw-dropping moments in television history. Like
Yeah.
the Red Wedding will forever live in
Yes.
my mind for the rest of eternity.
it was insane. When the Red Wedding happened, you were just like, what is going on? This
Yeah.
is like half the main
This
cast.
does not happen in TV. Like,
No, it does not.
When you-
Even the Sean Bean, at the end of season 1,
yes.
it was a crazy moment. You see a whole bunch of there's so many crazy moments.
Battle of the Bastards.
Yes.
Like it.
Yeah,
Crazy.
phenomenal episode.
Yeah.
That episode is one of the episodes that made me think of like it changed my mind about like the idea of what it would actually be like to go up against Calvary. Like the idea of it, the way they shot it was like, oh my, horses are terrifying.
Yes, they are
Like
a wave. They made it look
Yeah.
like it was like literally a rushing wave.
Yeah. It was insane.
Yeah. So I mean, all that being said, Shamato, where does your vote lie here?
All right, so it's a very difficult one, and this really hits at the core of like the idea that I got at maybe when we were first talking about how difficult TV shows can be, because like they're so diametrically opposed, and you just have this like completely different identities. I am actually gonna go with Bluey.
Oh, holy smokes, dude! What are we doing here? Okay, so you're going Bluey. Here's the thing, right? Game of Thrones was one of the ones I considered eliminating. Mentioned I kind of teased it that I was potentially going to go there,
Yeah.
and it's because of the finish.
Yes. Honestly, that is why in my mind I was okay with going that way.
Yeah.
And I have anyone who knows me has been told how I would have changed the final.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, you and I off the pod, honestly, have had hours worth of conversation about how we would have done the ending differently.
Yeah.
And it is astronomically different than what they chose. And so My vote's Bluey as well. So Bluey's moving on. I cannot believe what I just said, but I love those dogs, man. I really do. All right, moving on to the 3-6 seed. We're gonna go 3-6
Let's
seed.
do it.
Honestly, this is a freaking matchup here, dude. The 6 seed is Sherlock, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Martin Freeman versus a juggernaut in its own right, The Sopranos.
Oof.
Ooh,
Oof,
I
that is
know.
rough.
That is absolutely rough because I feel like I'm gonna start here. I feel like The Sopranos revolutionized television.
Yeah, I feel like it was honestly, it's definitely on this list, probably top 3 most influential. Honestly,
Oh yes.
like in the sense of like what it did for TV. I think it, Twilight Zone, and Batman in the Animated Series are the 3 most influential on the show in the sense of the direction of their TV sets, what they did.
Yes. No, I fully agree. Those 3 shows are 100% influential. The one thing that Sopranos did that kind of helped pave that way is their storytelling, and
Yes.
it kind of at that time period, sitcoms ruled.
Yes.
They ruled everything, and everybody was going for that quick laugh, that cheap laugh, the the serialized,
track.
the laugh track, serialized adventure of the week kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then The Sopranos came
Yeah.
along.
And most like at that time, most dramas were also kind of sterilized. Honestly.
Yeah, and HBO having very very minimal like reeling in reign
Yeah.
of the type of things that you can do with TV. The Sopranos kind of pushed the boundaries with almost everything. The universe that they built was absolutely fantastic. Like I still remember season 1, like it was like episode 4. Grandma runs over, Grandma freaking Mama Soprano runs
Yeah.
over her neighbor, and then
Yeah.
it was just like because she's old and senile,
Yeah.
and it was like, are we watching this on TV right now? Like this old lady just ran over somebody.
Yeah.
Like
And I think one of the most important episodes in the entire in the entire one. I was another early episode was when Tony is taking his daughter to when he's taking her to look at colleges.
ooh
I think
yeah,
it's a great episode.
is.
It's really where you get to see like the struggle of him as a man in a lot of ways because he's dealing with what's the difference between like his work life and it's more than just his work life
Mm,
because this is at moments call he has to be that man.
yeah,
This isn't like you're on call, oh go in or whatever, this is like it's something more when there is something to be done, but he's also trying to balance this with being a father
correct.
and trying to be
A good father
a
too.
good father. Like I think that's one of the biggest like things about. I think it's one of the biggest things to understand is that like he was he wasn't always a great guy.
Yeah,
100%. Like he's not a good person. Not honestly.
Yeah.
But he tries to take care of his family, and I think that's something that like was very well nuanced and like he would fall and he would have moments of triumph and like you would see everything with him as a person as in around Tony as a character and a lot of it was and lots of times you didn't get that nuance
Right.
with a lot of other TV shows. It was like the good guy we were just coming out of an era where like every dad was Superman.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, even the ones that were idiots were Supermen, and they're like, and how they felt about their families, like Bob Saget on Full House, Tim Allen on the Home Improvement, Bill Cosby on the Cosby Show, Winslow on Family Matters,
Hank Hill.
Hank Hill, like all these people were just like literally perfect Supermen, human beings that like them being them them falling didn't happen even
Right.
like
Phil.
Uncle Phil, yes,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, Uncle Phil on Fresh Prince.
Yeah. No, I see it, man. That's good. And what was Sopranos like? Either, they were the first or the first one that did it amazingly to have like that ambiguous ending of a series. Like,
I'm sure they weren't the first to do it, but I think they were one of the first ones to do it so well and to do it also like with a show that had reached such a high point.
yeah,
And like I feel like a lot of other shows that kind of did that had kind of like gotten to a point where they petered off more than anything else, and then they
yeah,
ended ambiguously.
yeah. That's true. That's a good point. But Sherlock is no slouch.
Oh, Sherlock is no slouch at all,
The
especially like the first 3 seasons. I think it was.
Dude, those first 3 seasons are, I mean, honestly, some of the
Yes.
best I've ever seen in television.
Yeah,
Like,
it's phenomenal.
Benedict Cumberbatch is phenomenal as Sherlock,
Yes.
and the things that they did in the show, where they actually did take stories from the Sherlock
Yeah.
novels and modernized them and brought them into the real world.
Yep.
But I will say this. You're only as good as your villain, and Moriarty is phenomenal.
He is so good. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible, and it's just unfortunate that I think he only lasted 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I believe. But I could have seen Benedict Cumberbatch go toe to toe with, I think, was it Andrew? Oh shoot, I'm blanking on his last name, but
Scott.
is this
No.
Andrew? Yeah, actually, yeah, I think it is Andrew Scott.
Okay.
Yes, I want to call him Adam Scott, but I know we know that it's
Yes.
Andrew Scott. Yes,
That was the
correct.
only reason why I was a little bit hesitant
Yeah.
on the
But
Scott.
I could see them going back and forth all day long, man. It was an incredible chess match, and Martin Freeman, he was so grounded in like us as the audience. He was us. He was us stepping in between these two
Yes.
titans of between Moriarty and Sherlock. I mean, I can't say enough amazing things about Sherlock, man.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So, all that being said, dude, where's your vote lie on this one?
It's tough for me to make a choice here because let's see. I think I'm going to go with The Sopranos.
Okay, all right. I love it. I respect it. I'm gonna go with The Sopranos as well. So it's tough, man. I love Sherlock to death, man. It is absolutely incredible.
Right,
But
the mysteries they did and the way I loved how they were able to pull in, take those stories from 150, 200 years ago. I think it was more like 100 or so, something like that. Anyway, but I loved how they were able to modernize them to the point to where like they made sense in our time period.
yeah, oh yeah, exactly. All right, we're gonna go with the 2-7 matchup now.
All right,
number
bring it on.
7. Number 7, Shimado. Honestly, I feel like it's going to. I'm not 100% sure if you've seen the show, but number 7 is Attack on Titan,
All right,
and it's going up against number 2, T-roll favorite, The Wire.
nice. It's interesting because in a lot of ways I feel like The Wire was like it was such a beneficiary of of Sopranos.
Correct. I feel like
Like-
I rode the coattails. I really
Yeah,
did.
like it. Just because it opened so many doors. With like HBO is interesting because it had Oz, which kind of like busted open the door,
Yeah.
which allowed Sopranos to be the Sopranos. Which I don't think Oz gets enough credit for what it did to like make it okay for the Sopranos to be the Sopranos.
It paved the way for adult television.
Yes, yeah, essentially, yeah. And then I feel like The Wire was kind of like that next extension, and I know it was like it really gets into like this gritty side of like what it's like living in a large city that is relatively poor, and it is not on the uprise in general.
Yeah.
I've been to Baltimore many times, and I've been through some parts that probably would have been shown on In the Wire, and things like that. And it's interesting getting into like them dealing with this homicide department that they're dealing the detectives that they're dealing with, and also dealing with like the drug dealer side of it and the other criminal activities that they're dealing with, and like the corruptness of the whole system is very interesting how it's played up.
And I feel like it was a jumping on point for a lot of actors as well.
It was, yeah.
I
Idris
mean,
Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba, like huge. I mean, Michael B. Jordan was on the show. Like,
Yes, he was. Yeah,
that which is blows my mind.
Yeah.
To even think about. So yeah, like there was like some. I mean, even Dominic West was
Yes.
a huge jump off from that
Yeah.
series. But yeah, so yeah, Wire is a phenomenal show. I absolutely this show is phenomenal,
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal. But it's going up against Attack on Titan,
Yeah.
which is an anime, and I am a
It is.
massive anime fan. And Attack on Titan is honestly a very influential show. In the last honestly like 15 years, this show has paved the way for so many things in the anime world.
It really has. Like it's definitely like I know there was a lot of like anime like breakthroughs, like with your
There's been a
Dragon Ball
lot, yeah.
Z and your like Sailor Moons and your even like you could say things like One Piece and Bleach, and you could say shows of that ilk. But I felt like in the last like you were saying about 15 years, Attack on Titan was like the show that like Americans really like seem to grab onto.
Correct.
That was a recent
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with that tenfold because Attack on Titan, when it came out, it was the show that was introducing people to anime in America.
Yes.
It was the show that people were so enthralled with. They were like, "Hey, you've never seen anime before? Come watch this with me because this is it." The storytelling is absolutely incredible. It is a political drama, fantasy, sci-fi,
Yeah.
all wrapped into one, and it is incredible. And animation is gorgeous. The Titans are threatening, and there's a story behind that.
They're
and-
grotesque.
Yes,
And
oh, absolutely. And it is just beyond incredible. So, Shamato,
Yep.
I feel like I got to start off with you again, man. Where's your vote lie here?
So my vote is for Attack on Titan.
Whoa, I'm gonna do a double take here. Hold on. Wow, didn't see that coming.
Kind of thought that might be a little out of left field for you.
It was absolutely
there.
because now it's going to sweep this one because it's moving on to the next round because there's no chance that I'm voting against against the Wire at least. I love the Wire, I absolutely do, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Attack on Titan on this one.
All
So,
right.
we do have an anime moving on. Holy smokes, guys! Where's T-Roll to level this out? Okay, and now our matchup between the 1 and 8 seed.
Really hard.
When
This is a hard
when
matchup.
when I saw this written down, I said, surely this can't be real. This can't be happening right now. But
Yeah.
we're going 8 seed, Batman the Animated Series versus the 1 seed, Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. My favorite TV show of all time is Breaking Bad.
All right.
My favorite cartoon show of all time is Batman the Animated Series.
All right.
So these are my 1 and 2
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, this is gonna be
Yeah.
this is Sophie's choice right here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I don't even know where I would start in this conversation. I think.
Let's just start about what we love about each.
Okay.
And then we'll work from there.
Okay. Brian
Work our way
Cranston,
through it.
Kevin Conroy, 2 phenomenal actors.
Yes.
Kevin Conroy, voice actor wise, he did things with this Batman character that have never been done or replicated since.
Yeah. I mean, for most people, and I think this is pretty close to how you feel about it.
Mhm.
But Kevin Conroy is Batman.
100%. 100%. He's been on podcast interviews and everything, obviously, before he died. Rest in peace. We have a whole episode dedicated to his his passing. But anyway, he approached the role not knowing anything about the character of Bruce Wayne and Batman. He knew of Batman, but not
Yeah.
the ins and out. He approached it with a Shakespearean eye, and it gave us this.
And honestly, he was.
Yeah, it gave us this whole. He said like he channeled Macbeth and Hamlet, and
Yeah.
like he brought that to the character, and you see it in his inflection when he's Bruce Wayne converting into Batman. Like his personality changes, but his drive and heart is still the same.
Yeah.
But then you take that with Kevin Conroy performance, and you switch it over to Bryan Cranston, who coming off of Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah. which honestly he's an underrated character in that
Oh,
show
for sure.
in the first place.
One of the funniest characters and best dads
Yeah,
on TV at the time. Similar to I'd add him in that vein of idiotic
close. Yeah.
slash Superman dad. Emphasis on the idiotic.
Yes.
Into this absolute force
Yes.
of freaking Heisenberg. Like, it's nuts, dude. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and just like the way his character, like, either there's that world of like, does his character change, or was he always that way?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
was it just something that he embraced inside himself to the point to where like he always had it, but he finally let himself see it, or what was it really a character shift?
Yeah, and man, it's a life question, like a morality question, like
Yeah.
that it's sparked from Breaking Bad. And Breaking Bad is probably one of the top 5 shows that ends on its own terms.
Yes. Yeah. Like, honestly, that is one of the things that I loved about it so much is that it knew where it was, it knew where it wanted to go, and it did it.
It told a story. It had a story from beginning to end, and it told it, and it didn't allow the studios to prod at it and pick it and extend it and
Yeah.
just make money. Like it,
Yeah,
it
because
it
who
held
knows how
its
many
own.
more seasons they could have.
Correct.
They could have made that 10 seasons if they wanted to.
Correct. Flip side of that, Batman the Animated Series was pushing boundaries with the content it was covering. It covered racism. It covered like women rights.
Yeah.
It covered all like vast numbers of political issues. It covered in the light of superhero world,
Yes.
and honestly told it better than real life. Like
Yeah.
it.
In one of the most like influential parts about it was it changed what animation meant on TV.
Correct.
Because you went from this idea of essentially all animated kid shows were something to sell a toy in the 80s.
Correct. Yes.
And although Batman animated series sold tons of toys,
There's a ton in the other room. So
yeah, it was not the purpose of the show.
correct.
It completely redirected the entire like universe of animated TV, like especially directed towards younger viewers.
Yes.
It was a complete paradigm shift in its and it can't. That's why I said that it is one of the top. It's a top 3 influential show on this list.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a product of it. The time, the studios didn't know what they had.
Yeah,
They didn't know the capabilities that Batman the Animated Series was going to launch, and it was ended too soon.
yeah. I think it also had to do with it was one of those situations like, for example, we talked about Bluey and what Bluey doesn't do. I think the executives, not the show Batman the Animated Series, but I think the executives didn't quite understand that you could treat younger viewers as if they had a brain.
Intelligent, yeah.
Like
That's a
they
good
had
point.
some intelligence.
Yeah, and it was the first animated show to use a live orchestra to record their soundtrack and themes for the show, which brought you
And
felt
it makes a difference.
Yeah, it does a
It
huge
really
difference.
does.
So we have Breaking Bad versus Batman Animated Series. Shamato,
Yeah.
where are you going with this one?
I mean, it may break your heart, but I'm Breaking Bad.
Okay. It does break my heart because I am voting Batman the Animated Series,
Yes.
but Breaking Bad is a higher ranking.
Yes.
So Breaking Bad is moving on.
Yes. But you know what? It allows you to vote for Batman the Animated Series and have it lose by like, oh shucks, somebody else voted it out instead of you betraying it.
That's true. Like last week. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. Listen to that podcast. It was fantastic. All right. Moving on to the next round. We have the 7 seed going up against the 3 seed, and we have
All right, let's do it.
Attack on Titan versus Sopranos. We said a lot about Sopranos. Attack on Titan got its shine. Both of these shows, I mean, same realm of kind of twistedness.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest with you, like
A little bit, yeah.
they're pretty like boundary pushing. Both
Yeah.
of these shows.
Very much so.
Gosh, dude, this actually is way tougher than I thought. Like I was like, you know what, I might go in here and vote like Attack on Titan right off the jump, but Sopranos just
Yeah.
it has this way of reeling you in. It has this way of bringing you back to. It was a phenomenon. Like honestly,
Yeah.
the finale, dude. That might have been like one of the first shows to have a watch party for the Sopranos finale. Like it was
Or at least
insane.
like in a long time. Like, yeah, like especially during that time where it was, well, you could rewatch things a little easier for it to have a watch party was very big.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so if I'm gonna go first, like the setup kind of also falls. You know, my heritage kind of makes me kind of a sucker for these genres anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with The Sopranos.
Nice. You know, Italians stick together, man.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a thing. And I have an Italian family, extended family. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with you on that one. I'm gonna go Sopranos. As well.
Yeah.
So, Sopranos is gonna, as much as that hurts me, and I love Attack on Titan and anime in general.
Yes.
I am gonna go with.
Hey, you got an anime to the second round.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. I'm proud of that. That's
Yeah.
good. All right. Moving on to the next matchup in the semis. It's going to be the 5 seed Bluey
All right.
versus the 1 seed Breaking Bad. Shamato, I'm not gonna lie here. Bluey versus Game of Thrones and Bluey versus Breaking Bad has never been on my bingo card ever.
Yeah. Honestly, like you were talking about how they're so diametrically opposed in the last round, but you can almost say like this is almost as diametrically opposed in a lot of ways with like the moral like
Dad.
like of Bryan Cranston's character. Honestly, yeah, the way what Bandit is willing to do for his family, whereas what essentially Walter White is unwilling to do for his family.
Ooh.
He claims to do it for his family,
Yeah.
but
There's
whether
some
he's doing it
selfish,
for his family
yeah, there's some.
is up for grabs. Anyway,
So here's something. Let me throw this out there. Okay, clearly Breaking Bad is a phenomenal show.
yes,
Clearly, think about this though. Bluey, the impact that it has had on not only our youth of today, but let's talk about like families and households. Okay, so like Bandit is father goals. Like
Yeah.
it is absolutely impossible to be a fantastic father these days because kids can look at Bandit and say, "That's how my dad's supposed to be."
he's just in.
No matter what,
whatever it is,
no matter what it is, dude, he is down, pause and everything. He is.
and you know what? Like, what's crazy is like he makes Chili look like a below average mother, and she is
Phenomenal
a
mother.
phenomenal mother. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Chili,
Yeah.
but like he is just that
Yeah.
tier.
Correct. Bandit falls under the category of like there's fathers. They usually fall into like 5 different types of dads. You either had them, right? I'll go ahead and list them. Why not,
Go
right?
ahead.
We have the sports dad. The dad
Right.
is fully involved in all sports and everything, like
Yeah.
pushing that, right? We got the things to do dad, who's always either mowing the lawn, building a gazebo, like
Hill.
Hank Hill. He's always finding something to do in the house to help provide for his family, but not necessarily there all the time for you.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, dad's outside again. I can't go bother him. Or he's
Yeah.
gonna that kind of thing, right? We have we also have the entertainer dad, where Bandit falls into.
Yeah.
the king of entertainer dads.
Phil Dunphy.
Yeah, there you go. Who always willing to get down and gritty. You have, and then there's the number 4, the nurturer dad, the dad who
Yeah.
kind of takes on the mom duties. The dad he cooks, he cleans for his kids, he takes care of them. He is fully there. And Shamato, what do you think the 5th one is?
The non-dad.
That's right. The dad that's kind of not there, sits on the couch, watch TV,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Oh, Al Bundy.
There you go. The Al Bundys. Yep. The Homer Simpson to an extent.
Yeah.
He's on the line between entertainer and
Yeah.
the non-existent dad.
Yeah.
But the entertainer dad is it's a rare dad. Dads are not willing
It
to get
is.
on the kids level, and
It-
Bandit is teaching dads these days to be
Yes.
on that level.
which is a phenomenal thing which is better for the world.
Yes.
And honestly.
Yeah, it is. It is. but compared to Walter White and what he did for dads,
Yeah.
maybe taught dads that it is okay to follow things you're
Follow
good
your
at.
dreams.
Things you're good at. I was gonna say dreams, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a dream right there, but
Yeah.
things you're good at. If he found a niche that allowed him to flourish.
I mean, honestly, I don't know. It
made him
very
feel
well
good.
could have been his dream. Like, not necessarily the
To
drug
that
dealing,
yeah.
but the actual, like,
Chemistry behind it.
not even the chemistry behind it, the feel.
Mm.
I think the dream, I think that was one of the hardest parts
Success
about
in
him.
general.
Success and, like, being revered.
Mm-hmm.
Because throughout the whole entire series, you see him, like, essentially, like, one of his biggest pitfalls is that people underestimating him is, like, the biggest thing. It's like when Marty McFly gets called a chicken. Like, honestly, like, him being underestimated is like that for him.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, watching Walter White go up against freaking Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh my!
Freaking
And honestly, like the payoff, like one of the greatest death scenes.
yes, amen.
Like
Amen to that.
him checking his tie, and then like just collapsing.
Yep.
Oh,
So good, so good. All right, Shimano, Bluey's done an amazing run, but there's no way we vote for it here, right? There's no way.
no.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. I'm glad we're on the
Breaking
same page
Bad.
here. Bluey got his time to shine. We love the show. We will continue to watch the show, even though
Yes.
there's a Bluey movie coming out in 2027, and the writer creator said that they're only going to do it for as long as they feel like they can produce good stuff.
Yeah.
And the movie's the last thing he's writing so far. There's no new season.
Ooh, shout out also from a distance. I saw the voice of Bandit when I was at a convention recently.
Hey, amen to that. That's cool. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. We bandit love here for sure.
Yes.
All right. We have a final.
Yes, we do.
And honestly, it's a final that has been discussed on multiple podcasts.
Oh yeah, this is like
like the stereotypical.
chalk.
Yeah,
This is a super chalk answer. Right
you looked
here.
at this on a freaking chart, on a ranking, on a bracket, and you're like,
Yeah.
those two are meeting in the
Yeah,
finals.
You threw this into ChatGPT, and it was like, oh, these are the top two.
Yeah.
Have them fight.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's Breaking Bad versus The Sopranos.
Yes, it is.
And you know what? Both of these shows, man, they are basically like 1A, 1B. They are essentially the same in a whole lot of ways.
Yeah. There are a lot of similarities. Playing it up with, you have a dad who's struggling to balance life. He's definitely deep into a criminal element.
Yeah.
Even down to the point of having a wife that is kind of annoying at times, but also like
and a kid that's kind of annoying at times.
yes,
Like,
a
it's the
kid that's
same
kind
thing.
of annoying at times,
Yeah.
but like a wife who is aware and is complicit, but also doesn't like pretends to not be a lot of the times.
Correct. Yeah. That's true.
So that plays out. You have these side characters that you're just like sometimes, or even main characters that you're kind of rooting for them, even though they're in the life, and you're just like you kind of want them to get out.
Well,
in some ways.
Yeah, and you also have a drug kingpin versus a mob boss.
Yes.
Which
is essentially just add mob kingpin into a whole bunch of other things, and you get very similar ideas.
Correct. And the funny thing here is that these are both technically villains we root for.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Because I wouldn't say either one of them are anti-heroes.
No, I would never.
You know?
I honestly thought about saying that they were anti-heroes, but there's no way in heck where I would say that they're doing anything good.
I don't think Walter White is an anti-hero at all, for sure. And I think Tony Soprano wishes he was an anti-hero.
Correct. Yes.
What
was your Tony Soprano moment where you were like, this dude, he's evil, he's bad. There's no way like he should be rooted for, but I still kind of like him.
Gosh, I mean, it was just like all these little things that he does, and he does things without remorse in a lot of ways. Okay. I think it's a lot of it.
That's where I was gonna go. It was how carefree that he does the things that he does.
Because he kind of just does things because, like, that is the job.
Yeah.
And like, in a way, it's like, oh, well, that is the job. Like, that should be a positive in his direction.
Yeah.
But when you really think about it, like the stuff that he's doing it doesn't matter whether it's your job or not. It's bad,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Which I think that's how they use the life, quote unquote, as a way to like in a lot of ways try to push him towards
Reel
being
you in.
good.
Reel you in.
Like, but yeah, and like to push him towards being good. Like, oh, he's just doing this because this is what they do in this life.
Yeah.
But then you really get down to it, and it's like, is he though? Like,
Yeah.
does he do it just because his dad was doing it? Like to get into that life. But it's also like, he does it because he likes a lot of it
Right.
in a lot of ways, and he likes the perk at the very least he likes the perks of what he does.
He's got nice things now. Like
Yeah.
and it's
Very
what
much
he
so.
does. It's what he does. And then same on Walter White's side. I know he did a lot of crazy stuff throughout.
Yeah.
There's a lot of early stuff that he did, but I know towards the later, it might even been the last season or second to last season. But like, dude, when he took out Kristen Ritter, dude, like,
Yeah, I think that's like the moment
yeah,
where people are like, okay, like he is like he's there.
yeah.
I
And
think
I
that
think was it last season? Like, or
no,
no,
it was definitely not the last season.
season 3
It
maybe.
was either 3 or 4.
Okay,
For sure, because pretty much all of season 5 is pretty like tight on itself.
yeah,
Because like
that's true.
you
Good
know,
point.
but it's definitely not. Like I really don't think it is. I think there, honestly, for me, more of his moments would be when he poisons the kid.
Oh, dang, dude! I'll always remember what Lily of the Valley does.
Yes,
I promise you
Lily of
that.
Lily of the Valley.
Promise you
Like,
that.
yes, when he does that, that's one thing. And then when he essentially manipulates Aaron Paul's character Jesse to kill the other chemist.
Oh,
When he
yeah.
forces him across that line, that Jesse had yet to cross that line. He was sort of like, in a way, he almost kind of reminds me of Glenn from Walking Dead,
Okay. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
where he kind of like maybe he will. I mean, Glenn was a much more like noble character, but like up to the point to where like he be up until like Glenn crossed the line, and then he almost essentially pays for it immediately afterwards.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He does.
But I think like Jesse, up until that point, they were both working in these worlds where death was essentially almost all around them, but they had always kind of avoided actually getting their hands dirty up until these moments.
Yeah.
It would with Jesse, actually finally pulling the trigger himself was actually like, and it broke him so much.
Yeah. All right. So we gotta crown a winner here. Now listen, we went through an elimination chamber and we got rid of all those
Yeah.
bottom hanging fruit. We moved on some crazy ones. Bluey, right?
Yep.
Batman the Animated Series, right? We made it through this top 8 bracket. I know it's top 16 shows, but we went through 8 bracket. We got to crown a winner. And we have Breaking Bad versus The Sopranos. Do your Italian roots lead you to go Sopranos here, or are you taking Breaking Bad?
So unfortunately, this is where like the road stops.
Should your Nona stop listening right now? Is that what you're saying?
My Nona.
Yeah. Should she stop listening?
I mean,
She's
yeah, if she wants to, she can.
Okay.
She can stop listening from heaven. But but for me, like this is the end of the line. Anyway, he lives in New Jersey anyway, so who cares about them?
Oh.
But anyway, like
I heard there's a really good football team in New Jersey. No, never mind. No, there's not. They're not that good. Anyway, moving on.
I mean, yeah. At least they they're at least like the team that in their own stadium.
Ouch. Okay.
Anyway, I'm gonna go with Breaking Bad.
Okay.
I gotta go with Breaking Bad at this moment.
Well, to be honest with you, whatever I say here doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. So
I've cornered you.
you've cornered me, and it's all good though because I made a statement earlier on in this podcast about my number one show of all time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stick to that this time. And Breaking Bad is my vote as well because I don't know, man. Something about watching that show,
Yeah.
even like the first run of that show was just it felt like it was an experience and a moment in time that was gonna live on forever.
Yeah. It felt. I don't know. I always felt like when I was watching it that I was in good hands.
Yes.
Like
yes.
I didn't feel like they were ever
yeah.
trying to like they ever didn't know what they were doing. That they were just everything.
You never felt like you were watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah, honestly. And from like we had said before, like they had a beginning point and then an end point, and they knew what they were gonna do, which allowed them to not waste our time.
Correct.
There was never really a week where you were like, well, that week could have been cut out and like, we would have been fine.
Oh yeah, exactly. And this the storytelling and the storytelling in general, man, was just
phenomenal.
on another level. And just for reference here, on IMDb it was a 9.5.
All right.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, the overall series was a 96. So it definitely holds to that.
Yeah.
And Vince Gilligan did a phenomenal job in the show. And
he was so great.
And to have such a high-tiered spin-off to come off of that
Yes.
as well. I know I eliminated it early. It was my first elimination was Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And it's because I didn't want to have this conversation. I didn't want to talk about the ins and outs of this world that Vince Gilligan had created.
Yeah.
So, Breaking Bad is going to be our champion to emerge on this top.
Chalk.
Exactly. Yeah. Number one. Sometimes number one seed just
Some of them are
stays the number one.
They're there
seed.
for a reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. So, for Shamato and myself, we really appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, follow wherever you are listening. T-Roll, you missed a good one. You're probably never going to hear this episode in your entire existence, and I'm okay with that. Let us have our moments, okay? So, once again, for Shamato and myself, thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time. You peasants.